Alright, so I got a book coming out called Hostile World, and it's being published by Solstice Publishing, uh, Summer Solstice, I think, but Solstice Publishing um, is publishing it. Yeah, they have like so many different names that I can't really keep up with it, but like Solstice is what I usually refer to them as. But yeah, they're publishing my book, which I thought was great because they edit books pretty well too. So they're a pretty good publishing company. Because me and my agent were like talking about it, and I was like, you know what, they are pretty good, and hopefully this book will help make them even more successful. So they're really trying. They enter like all these book festivals and stuff like that. So, but yeah, hopefully this book will help put them on the map. But I so I wrote this book. I didn't start writing this book till about like '93, and I saw the movie Fire in the Sky, and I played this game called Out of This World. So like I combined like the two together for it, and then I made it like a kid because at the time I was a kid, so someone I can relate to. But I made him a little bit older because I don't see a little kid going through it. So I got to be a little bit more like a teenager. So I made him 16 years old. I think I was like 13 or 14 at the time when I came up with it. And I wrote this book and it was really awful, but like and I had a lot of good ideas, but like it was awful. Like I have like a sheet of it on a typewriter because I wrote it on a typewriter, and it's terrible. But it made me learn some stuff though about like writing and stuff, and having to write dialogue, and the dialogue on there was terrible. I read it to myself. I'm like, oh my god, it's terrible. So I made sure to concentrate on dialogue as much as I can, at least passable enough, so that people don't read like something stupid. Like no one would say that, so at least somewhat like a person would say, you know. So, but yeah, I wrote it. Then I had to write it again on a computer. Then I wrote it and all this stuff. But like it went through different changes. So finally, I wrote the final version. I figured, well, this time when I write it, it'll get published and it'll get out there. So at least that I would be able to get it out there. This would be the if I wanted to make like the best one possible, but honor my younger self with it, you know. But like I didn't feel like writing it because like I didn't. I wanted more of a story than what it had before. And like before, it was just running to point A to point B. It was basically, I called it a Die Hard on another planet. And so and that was like my tagline for it when I was writing it before, like Die Hard on another planet. Like all it is, he's just running across or shooting at them. Maybe some stuff happening on Earth, go back home, that type of deal. But I thought that's not really enough. So I started thinking about like the Mars expedition and like how like they had a spaceship go out there, and then they send like this rover or something with like a camera on it, you know, it was taking pictures, and I thought that was pretty fascinating, especially that it gets right back to them. So it's like I just thought of the concept of what if they had something like that onto another planet. So it starts off with them like sending like this little spaceship probe over there and going on this other planet, but it was able to like video record and like see, you know, you can watch it on video. It's like a really shitty like film camera thing. It's like really like washed out and stuff, so it's not like the greatest monitor, but they can still see everything, you know. It's kind of like looking through those binoculars in Star Wars or something. It just looks really fucking shitty. But anyway, so they send like this little like drone out there, and it's like a really advanced type of drone. Like they made this thing themselves, and like it can actually broadcast live over here, which probably not scientific could happen, but it's supposed to be like an advanced technology that they made, you know, like stuff they don't really tell the public, you know. But we got this, but we're not going to tell the public, you know, yet. But they made this thing sort of live on TV anyway, so they not only know that this robot exists, they just brought it live on TV. So the whole world is like watching this other planet that this guy's like controlling in his base, and showing this little robot going through like this trench, you know. It's like, oh my god, it's a planet, even though like it's kind of based on Mars, how disappointing that is, because all it is like rock, and there's like an atmosphere, but you don't see any kind of life or anything like that. It's just like dead, you know, like this dead canyon, which is supposed to honor like my earlier books when I was making it into a dead planet, but it's not. It's supposed to be like Earth but with water, but they just went into the wrong shitty part. So, but then they end up turning like a corner and they see like these two aliens by the spaceship, and then like, oh my god, is that life? So it starts moving. So they moved it closer, but they don't know if it's friendly, if it's going to attack or what. They just want to get like a bigger picture. They're just going to take that risk. They're all kind of like debating about, should we go closer, you know, because they're seeing like these two aliens on the other side of the trench. But then they end up going to it, and the aliens actually see the drone. So like they just go and walk towards it. They're like, what the hell is happening? You know, they're walking over this drone and stuff, and then all of a sudden you just like they just start beating on the thing, and then like you see this foot stomp, and then they lost communications. But it's supposed to be like a plot point later on with that thing, which is what I loved. It's like there's still gonna be like a character in this, you know. So, but it shows up like later on when Chris comes there, and that's what makes it different than the previous books. Is the fact that now he has like this. He ends up getting it fixed. Like he has this alien partner named Buster, who fixes the little robot thing, the drone or whatever, and then they end up getting communications back to the base, and then so like they end up getting all the scientists and everybody there. So anyway, they end up like broadcasting it live on TV, and that's like pretty much like the main focal point of the story is the fact that this kid's going through this other world that no one's ever seen before. You know, it's like, oh my god, there's a kid running around there and stuff. But not only that, but like it's like live on TV, and like it's like a reality show. So he's like getting shot at by these aliens on live TV, and like his friends and family members, everybody are like watching this, you know. But they like got the kid's permission to use it because the guy like you know manipulates him and to say, look, you know, we'll broadcast you live on TV, and the whole world will be watching. We know this because he's had a big problem with the world watching them, you know, get shot at. But he's like, look, everyone will be behind you, will be with you 100%, and then people will figure out how to get you home and all that stuff. So, yeah. So he ends up agreeing to it so he wouldn't feel so lonely, you know, because he actually is kind of alone, because when he first gets into the planet, he's by himself and he's getting shot at, you know. He's in this dark cave by himself and everything, and these aliens are hunting him down, and he's like, oh, shit. But he ends up finding, like, this alien who becomes, like, his friend. He ends up freeing him from, like, this little cocoon thing. But he doesn't really trust him because, like, even though he has, like, this alien friend who, like, pretty much, like, is, like, loyal to him, because he loses his gun and, like, gives the gun back to him, you know. And I kind of based their relationship on this movie called Enemy Mine that people forgot about. But it was like a really cool movie with Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett Jr. Louis Gossett Jr. played like the alien on there. And it was a really good relationship, human alien. But I just didn't want him to speak English or nothing. So like this alien doesn't really talk, because I really don't think that if you go to another planet that they'll speak English. So I didn't want, so I was like, you know what, I'm not making up a language because it's probably going to sound stupid. So, but I've heard that aliens communicate telepathically, someone said. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey, that sounds cool to me. They communicate telepathically, and the reason why he can't communicate with Chris because he can't, you know, telepathically get what he's saying. Plus, they don't speak the same language anyway. So he ends up grunting and using expressions and everything, which I thought was pretty cool for the character, because it kind of gives him more of a personality if you write the personality instead of using words to try to convey it. You know, like, let's make this guy, you know, like, is like a really loyal alien friend. He like bails him out like all the freaking time and everything. He's pretty much leading them through the planet. Chris just doesn't know if he's understanding them or not, you know. And he didn't trust him for a while, but then after a while, he would start to trust this alien. But yeah, he ends up like relying on this alien that doesn't talk. So when he gets broadcasted live on TV, those scientists and the TV executives are actually talking to him. And he's knowing what's going on at home, and he just figured, well, at least I'm not by myself. Hopefully they'll get me through this, because he just wants to go home. Like, he finds like the spaceship that, you know, went to that planet, but it ends up getting destroyed. So you don't know how to get the fuck home and everything. So everyone's watching him. That he has no idea how to get home, and he's being hunted down by the entire planet. So that's pretty much like the basic premise of it. But then, I mean, there's a little things along the way where he like has this bully that bullies him in school, and his name is Clark Boston, which is based on a real bully that I had in school too. But the funny part is he became my friend later. He's like this big guy that used to like bully me in school, so I based him kind of like on him. That way I know like what kind of a bully to do. But I made him more of an asshole on this one though, you know, like more than what he was. You know, so I figured, why not? Let's make this guy look like a total fucking jerk, you know, because he probably is. Because he looks angry all the time, and the guy that bullied me was kind of a jerk anyway. He probably would have done this. So, but like, Chris has like the hots for like this girl at school, her name's Arian. And he's like trying so hard to impress her. Like, he actually managed to get a date with her, which really pisses off this bully. And, but he manages to get a date with her, and like he's trying so hard to like freaking impress her and everything, but he'll like compliment her, which is pretty much a step up because, you know, it takes some balls. So he ends up complimenting her, and then like she don't even like realize what he says. Like, oh man, I'm probably blowing his date or something. But like, but they end up going to like the pirate fair, so he's trying to impress her with like shooting gallery. They have like this little shooting gallery thing on there, and he'd just been told by like one of the pirates that he'd low standards to her. Like, this guy was trying to talk shit because he's on those little dunk tanks, and he was talking shit, and he just, because he was talking like G-rated stuff before, but they ended up like egging him on, you know, and then he just blurts out that he's low standards to the girl next to him. He wasn't swearing because he's not allowed to swear, but he's allowed to piss off his guests. So it did piss off Chris because he didn't want someone to say that right in front of her. So he ends up dunking her. So then after that, he tried to prove it to her at this little shooting gallery thing. So like, he's like, okay, if I shoot all these targets, you know, she even says it, like, shoot these targets, you know, you won't be low standards. So he was given like a test, but he couldn't shoot either one of them. You know, and I thought that was like a little twist, like he doesn't freaking shoot him, you know? So like the ticket guy kind of felt sorry for him. It's like, you want to try again? It's like, yeah. So she like turns away and he's shooting. When she looks back up, he got one. You know, he only got like one target, you know? So he's like trying to tell her, like, no, dude, I can really shoot, you know? So there's a real foreshadowing though of like what happens on a planet. Like, you kind of know, like he's going to be using a gun because he's being hunted on another planet. And with it being live TV, you kind of know that he's probably going to impress her with that, you know? But it's a kind of a cool moment, you know? So, but then they end up trying to find the missing girl. There's this girl that got missing, got abducted by aliens, and there's this guy, James, who was to blame for it. And they're trying to help him out because they're going to just bite it and just believe his alien story. Even though they think it's a really far out story, they'll just believe that aliens took her for now. You know, we'll just go on this little hunt for you, see if we can find her, but after that, that's all we're going to give you. So they end up going to these woods to find her, but luck may have it, first they run into Clark, because Clark finds them into the woods, and that's when, like, him and Chris get, like, beamed up by the spaceship that comes. And so they ended up, like, getting beamed up in it, and then, like, Arian was saved from it, which kind of pissed from Clark, because Chris had to push him. So, like, you just kind of know there'd be, like, some kind of battle, but Clark won't show up for, like, a long time into the book. I know I'm probably spoiling it, but oh well. I'm not going to spoil the ending. I had, like, several endings to it, so if anyone's really interested in reading it, I won't spoil the ending for it. But I'm just trying to give, like, enough information to talk about what's going on in the book. So, I think pretty much in conclusion, hopefully, I don't know when it comes out, but hopefully it'll come out in the next couple months. I'll have another video talking about it. So hopefully people get it, and stay tuned for my next book. Fuck you, Brian.